I know that you have already seen the prices for a lot of the players on the DraftKings slate, but it's the week of. Let's talk about it. My name's Bradley, and this is Allaqcess with our studs and stacks for week 1 of the NFL season. Now, if you've been here before, you know the drill. At any moment when you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up or comment below when we screw up. We like to be completely transparent, and we've been helping thousands of people over the past few years right here on YouTube make better decisions with their DFS lineups. We're going to take a look at some of our favorite high-end plays. Yes, they are going to be a little bit expensive, so nothing should really surprise you, but these are the guys that I'm absolutely certain that I want to get into my lineups, or I'm interested in my final player pool. I'm not one of the guys that puts in 150 lineups every single week. I enjoy it a little bit more in single entry or 3 entry maximum contests. Obviously, I like the double ups too. I just want to win consistently. If you want to fit more of these guys in, go take a look at our value plays video that just came out, and then stuff as many of these people as you can in your lineup. Each week, we are completely transparent. I promise you, we're not going to give you 150 names and just say, look, we gave you the top 2 scores. We're going to let you know where we went right and where we went wrong, and that's where you help in the comments because you love to just point out when I'm wrong. A lot of our videos give you the chance to win a Millionaire Maker ticket, so pay attention to the end of this video for your chance to win. You might have already missed a video that had a chance to win. Now, again, none of these guys should really take you by surprise, but these are these high-end players that I really want to target. There's obviously a lot of players over $5,500 or over $6,000 that you want to get in your lineup, but these are the ones that, as I'm shrinking my player pool, these are the guys that I'm really focusing in on. To start things off, yes, it's the obvious choice. Jonathan Taylor. He's in line for a good game. Everyone's talking about him. He was running back 1. He was player 1 in every fantasy football draft that you did over the summer. Now he's going up against Houston, and it's expensive. It might be a little bit too obvious. Maybe you want to steer away. I'm not putting him into my lineup as of right now, but there's no reason Jonathan Taylor shouldn't score at least 20 to 25 points. Keep in mind, our goal on this channel is to get 4 times points per $1,000 spent. What we mean by that is if you spend $5,000 on a player, our goal is to get 20 points out of him. DraftKings gives you $50,000 to assemble the perfect lineup. 4 times that is 200 points, and 200 points is cashing almost every single week. Let's take $1,500 off the price tag and get a PPR god in Alvin Kamara. If you've been paying attention to the preseason, Jameis Winston looks really, really good. Alvin Kamara looks really, really good. The receiving weapons that they have there, the Saints offense as a whole looks decently good. And now they're going up against the Atlanta Falcons, who struggle over the middle. Kamara, CMC, both of those guys have absolutely torched the Atlanta Falcons over the years. Look at Deante Jones's tape. He finished at the bottom of the league in coverage percentage and yards allowed for the linebacker position. They've never been good defending the running back, the tight end, or slot receivers over the middle. That's not going to change this week, especially when you add Jarvis Landry into this offense, Chris Olave. You got to spread your defense out a little bit more, opening things up for Alvin Kamara. I absolutely love running backs week 1 and 2 as offensive find their footing. Alvin Kamara at 7,600 against the Atlanta Falcons. It's going to be hard to miss that out of my lineup. Now, Christian McCaffrey, you can see behind me, I'm a little bit of a Panthers fan, but I'm not a homer. Although he may be the highest scoring running back on the slate, going up against a Cleveland Browns defense that finished last in rush yards allowed last season. Yes, dead last. There's no reason you shouldn't play Christian McCaffrey. Yes, they have an elite pass rush. Dump the ball off to Christian McCaffrey. Want to slow down the pass rush? Run it up the middle. He's going to get an abundance of touches, and even when he didn't have touchdowns last season, he was still getting over 25 points on occasion. 30 points seems like a low-end choice for a healthy Christian McCaffrey week 1. Yeah, surprise, surprise, we got another running back for you. But Bradley, the Detroit Lions offense isn't even that good. DeAndre Swift can catch the ball out of the backfield. I saw it. You saw it down the stretch last year. DeAndre Swift, when healthy, can still be a valuable resource to this offense. Going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, who got a lot better on the front 7 of their defense, a very good pass rush with some of the pieces that they've added within the draft, as well as free agents like Hassan Reddick. You're going to want to take a little bit of pressure off Jared Goff. And again, you relieve that with your running back catching out of the backfield. Not only DeAndre Swift, but Jamal Williams is probably going to have a decent game. TJ Hawkinson might be in there to block a little bit more than usual. I really like DeAndre Swift, especially at $6,800. Justin Jefferson could be the highest scoring wide receiver on this slate. Now, he's going up against the Green Bay Packers. He did have a 40-point DraftKings game against them last year, and the Packers allowed the third most receiving touchdowns in the league last year. Kirk Cousins has a new offensive coordinator, or the Vikings in general have a new offensive coordinator. They're going to spread the ball a little bit more. You add the weapons in Jalen Reagor. You have a healthy Dalvin Cook to start the season. Justin Jefferson should see a little bit of that pressure relieved from him. Wide receiver 2 in most drafts is going to be wide receiver 1 on the DraftKings slate this week. We love to pick on bad defensive backs, and we're doing it again. A.J. Brown at $6,400 against the Detroit Lions. That Detroit Lions team is much improved. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen me talk about the Lions being very good and the Saints being much improved. However, that still doesn't remove the fact that they allowed the 4th most receiving touchdowns in 2021. Jalen Hurts' new favorite red zone target appears to be A.J. Brown, with reports coming out of camp as well as the preseason. He's not necessarily my favorite play, but if you have the funds to go get him at $6,400, I think he's worth every single penny. Not just that, but there's a lot of receivers to love around this price point. Brandon Cooks going up against the Indianapolis Colts. They're probably going to be playing from behind. Amon-Ra St. Brown on the flip side of this game. T. Higgins, DJ Moore against the Cleveland Browns, as well as Deante Johnson, who we could get into a little bit. But this little $6,000 to $6,600 window, including Mike Williams at the top, is probably where I'm going to be living for my wide receivers, with the exception of Justin Jefferson. It's going to be Aaron Jones at $6,700 against the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, it says Green Bay, but don't worry about it. It's a typo. We all make mistakes. They have a ton of new wide receivers. You look at Allen Lazard, you look at Christian Watson, Dobbs that you have over there. There's some new weapons, but we don't really know what to make of it. Aaron Rodgers is on record saying that he wants to be comfortable with these guys. He was comfortable knowing where Davante Adams was going to be. Well, now you only have Allen Lazard and Aaron Jones that you're familiar with from last season. He's going to have to lean on him. He's going to have to rely on him. PPR is king in DraftKings, and I don't see why Aaron Jones shouldn't see extra targets week 1. Is this the first quarterback we've talked about, Justin Herbert at $7,600? Listen, I'll take it. Both teams can and are going to score. That AFC West division is absolutely loaded with teams and talent on the offensive side of the ball. You look at the Denver Broncos being possibly the worst offense. Maybe it's the Oakland Raiders. But some people are saying the Chiefs are going to have the worst offense in the AFC West. That is ludicrous to me, but it is possible. Anyways, the Las Vegas Raiders, although under new coaching, are probably going to see at the beginning of the season some of the same similar disabilities they had at the end of last year, which is receiving yards. Justin Herbert has a ton of weapons. We know about it. Then you add Gerald Everett. You still have Austin Eckler, who can catch the ball out of the backfield, easily can distribute the ball to any player on the field. I absolutely love California kid Justin Herbert this week at $7,600. I'm not sure I can fit him into my lineup. That offense as a whole is pretty expensive. Vegas says it's going to be one of the highest, if not the highest scoring game on the slate. I want to fit the Chargers in, but I know a lot of other people do, and it's a little bit too expensive. Again, a wide receiver starting with a 6, Deante Johnson against Cincinnati. The Bengals gave up the 2nd most yards in 2020. And Deante Johnson is still that guy. Oh, but Bradley, Ben Roethlisberger's not throwing him the ball. You mean Ben Roethlisberger, who couldn't throw the ball more than 6 yards down the field? Now, I have long been one of the loudest people saying Mitch Trubisky is not an NFL quarterback. But man, he looked decent in the preseason. He looked somewhat competitive. If he's able to distribute the ball and just get the ball into Deante Johnson's hands, he can make those plays. Yes, they added Pickens. Yes, they have Chase Claypool over there. But if you fall behind early to Cincinnati, you're not going to be able to just hand the ball off. You're going to have to throw it. That means more opportunities for Deante Johnson, and I love opportunities because opportunities create touchdowns. Jesus is coming to get me. I didn't mean to insult Trubisky. Oh. Now, when you see this first name, you might think, Bradley, what are you doing? Honey, it's okay. Sometimes you have to be a little bit different, and I've been talking about Kirk Cousins. If you watched our sleeper video, I've been talking about Jameis Winston. And now it's starting to bubble up in the national media. It's bubbling up with your favorite content creators. It's bubbling up on TikTok, if that's where you choose to get your information. Kirk Cousins at $6,100 against Green Bay. I've already talked about it in this video. Green Bay, 3rd most receiving touchdowns allowed in 2021. Now you get a new offensive coordinator in Minnesota who wants to spread the ball. How aggressive do they want to be spreading the ball? They went out and got Jalen Reagor. The same Jalen Reagor that they were laughing at the Philadelphia Eagles taking because they took him over Justin Jefferson. he has the weapons. All he has to do is deliver the ball. Finally, we have Jamar Chase, and he's probably the most, I kind of expected that since the very first page of running backs. At $7,100, the Steelers gave up the 10th most passing yards in the league last year, and now you go up against Cincinnati, who has probably gotten even better on the offensive side of the ball than they were last year. People argue between Jamar Chase and T. Higgins who's going to have the better season. Jamar Chase at 7,100, I still think is that guy. He's the one that scored the more touchdowns. He's the one that had the bigger plays. Jamar Chase at $7,100, also a guy that you can climb up the ladder and go get if you want to pay up for a wide receiver. Again, personally, I like the 3 running back method. I like having a high floor. I like double ups. I like 3 entry maxes, and I like single entry contests. So for me personally, I think I'm going to be paying up for running backs and then find that $6,000 window for wide receivers and dig way deep to maybe find that 3rd running back or tight end. And of course, we got to talk about the stacks. The obvious ones are there. They might be a little bit too expensive, but the obvious ones are there. The Baltimore against the Jets. The Chargers against the Raiders we talked about. The Chiefs against the Cardinals. We didn't talk about too much, but it's the obvious ones, right? Being a little bit different, keeping a little bit of money in your pocket, finding stacks that can still produce points, but financially makes a lot more sense. Here you go. The Minnesota Vikings with Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, and Justin Jefferson. I really am falling more in love with this stack every single day. Again, if I'm playing 3 lineups, this one might be one of them, but the one that I'm really targeting right now is the New Orleans Saints with Jameis Winston dropping the ball off to Alvin Kamara, and Jarvis Landry, or Michael Thomas if he's healthy. Could you just 2-man stack this because you don't know what weapons Jameis Winston's going to be throwing to? Absolutely. Then, closer to game time, figure out what wide receiver you want to pair in there. But Jameis Winston really looks good. Alvin Kamara is going to be catching a lot of balls. I'm okay with either one of these right now, my 1 and 2. And then one that you see bubbling up right now just because they're so cheap at $5,500 each is Matt Ryan and Michael Pittman Jr. Expectations are Houston Texans load the box. All you got to do is find Michael Pittman for 6-7 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown, and he pays off his dues with 18 to 24 points. That's a very reasonable outcome for him this week. Again, most weeks you're looking for 4 times points. 200 points is cashing the majority of weeks in the NFL. Maybe not week 1 because there is so much value because these prices were put out so long ago. Matt Ryan and Michael Pittman quietly is becoming a more popular pick. You'll see that we have videos that pretty often ask you a question. All you got to do is like this video and then comment below your answer. Also, it helps if you subscribe to the channel so that I can DM you right here on YouTube to get your information. But we keep it really simple. We asked this question in our first way too early sleeper studs and stacks, but we're asking it again. So technically, you have 2 chances, one on that video and one on this one. Go watch that video and enter again if you just want to have a bonus chance. So here you go. Who is going to score the most points on the Week 1 main slate of NFL games from DraftKings? Example, just put it down below. I need a whole number. The name and number must be correct. Alvin Kamara, 31 points. If he's the highest scoring player with 31.8 points, the person who said Alvin Kamara at 31 points would be deemed the winner. I would get in contact with you, and we would cover the cost of your next Millionaire Maker ticket. So, drop it below. I appreciate you watching this video. If you enjoyed it at any time, please give a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a video. We also do our sleeper videos, which are our value plays under $5,500, as well as NFL picks, and we do live lineup builds on other platforms. So check out Twitter, down in the description, Twitch, down in the description, TikTok, all of those down in the description below. Read through it, find us there. I'll be sure to follow you back on any platform. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Hopefully the next time that I see you and your username is in the comments and then in the green. Good luck this season.